What's up guys, my name's Chad. Welcome back to the channel. If you saw my other van build video, you're not going to want to miss this one. Behind me, 27-foot Airstream, and I did some really cool upgrades to this and I think you'll like it. So let's check it out. See that right there? We got an Airstream Flying Cloud. This baby's a beaut. Don't really remember the length of it, but let's go inside. Okay, so we are going to be focusing on this section of the Airstream. First things first, let's look at the electronics. That is the biggest DVD player I've ever seen. So the goal is to remove this and combine a DVD player with a new and upgraded head unit. Clean all this up and then also install the cell boost underneath somewhere. Secondly, we're going to be modifying this cushion. We're going to add a cubby storage thing in here and make some usable space out of this wasted space here. Then moving on, this is going to get cut right there, and we are going to build a full drawer system with a bar right in the top, and a couple other upgrades like the push button latches are going to get installed here, and also a custom flip up table. All right, so now that the tour is done, I'm going to do this in a couple different parts. First thing first, I'm going to take out as much of the electronics as I can. I want to figure out what's behind it, what if what I want to do is possible. That's number one. Then going to take all the cushions out. I'm going to take them to an upholstery guy and get that underway, and then I'll have all my measurements, and then I can start building the drawer system. So first things first, let's do a little tear down of the electronics. All right, I got to show you this rat's nest here. Look at this. I mean, this is how Airstream just puts all the wires like that. That gives me anxiety. So we're going to clean all that. There's going to be about 100 zip ties, making that neat. And we get to use all this space. So good stuff. All right, let's get back to it. I hate electrical tape. This is what happens to old electrical tape. It just disintegrates, and then you go to take it off, and it's like a rubbery goo. All right, so check this out. This is a little old tech here. So we got the, wait, how does this even open? Open. Okay, so I thought it was a CD player. Oh my gosh. Just for a USB. Wow. All right, we're gonna fix that. is replacing this 12 volt outlet here, and I took this panel down. This thing is completely just flopping around, and it just sparked, because what happened is this came over, hit the positive or the ground, so the positive and negative came into contact, sparks flew and blew a fuse, so this whole side is off right now. So this was a disaster waiting to happen, essentially. So glad I'm getting in there on that one. All right, so pretty much just wrapping up day one of the Airstream build. Only got a couple hours into it, but I got a lot accomplished. I'm pretty excited about where we're at right now. So I want to walk through what I did and what I'm going to do in the whole sequence of events to get this thing back together, and so I can deliver it to the owner of the Airstream. So let's check this out. You already saw this in the video. I got the electronics out. Everything's kind of organized of what we have. So we have the Wi-Fi booster, we have the cell booster. This is an HDMI splitter. This is an audio input for the old stereo unit. So this actually might be able to go away. These are inline noise reducers. There's 2 of those. So that's pretty straightforward. Excited how this came out. This is gonna, I mean, this was totally useless space before. So I'm gonna order up a new head unit that has a DVD player built in and RCA inputs, so we can have it all in one. So we just have one system right here, maybe a flip up screen, touch screen. So we'll look at that. Next up, we have the cushions out, and I have it just casually marked here of where the cubby is going to go. So cubby is going to be 16 3/4 inches high, about 34 inches deep, and then the new cushion is going to go obviously right here. Then over here, this is awesome. So this is obviously the bench that was here, and in the bench is an actual slide out platform on 500-pound slides. What I'm going to do is I got to take this back to my shop. I'm going to reuse what can be reused. So essentially at that blue mark, that will get reused, that will go back in, and then I'm going to build a new system completely from the floor up to fill this second half here. So it's going to be really clean, really nice, and it's going to go to about just underneath where those handles are. So there's the rivet line, that's where it'll go. And then of course I'm going to clean up the wiring that's dangling around, making me nervous and crazy with my OCD behind this TV. Oh, also wanted to show you. So this was underneath the bed. So it looks like those are aluminum scraps left over from the build. So Airstream quality control, I guess, missed this. Otherwise pretty clean, just a little dusty and looking good. But I'm going to have to go get the van and come back for this piece because it's not going to fit my Land Rover.
One eternity later.
Okay, so as we walk into the Airstream, this is the first thing that I built. So previously there was a wedge-shaped cushion in this corner, as I showed in the beginning of the video. And what I did is I made templates out of cardboard, and then I created this wedge open drawer system. And then I also came up with this, I found this netting on Amazon, then I cut it to fit. I got these are little kayak bungee mounts, I guess. We have the butcher block countertop. Then I took the cushions from here and over here, and I took them to a local upholstery guy, and he cut this down here, and we were able to reuse the fabric from the piece that was in this section to redo the cushion here and redo that cushion. So we didn't actually have to buy any cushions, so that was pretty awesome. Next up on this side, I upgraded the stereo system. So this had an old Sony head unit single DIN, and I kept the single DIN and went with this big screen. So now the new owner has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And then cleaned up this whole thing. So there was a big giant DVD player here, and what I did is I took that out. I made this piece to cover. There's a big hole here. I added in a dual USB and a cigarette outlet, so I replaced that, and then we put in an upgraded Wi-Fi Ranger, the original Weboost system, but I added a new antenna for the Weboost. So Wi-Fi is completely new, and the Weboost antenna is completely new. And then under here we have, this is the Cell Boost, the internal Weboost antenna. This is the microphone, so you can do hands-free calling with the stereo, so similar to your car. I thought that was a pretty cool touch. And then I routed this wire underneath, like basically where the power for this light came through, so I didn't have to cut a hole for this. And I cut a hole for the antenna, but was able to put this desk grommet in and clean it up really nice. And then over on this side, I'm gonna do this. I put in a USB and audio in port right here, so it kind of tucks in behind the cushion, so you can't really see it. So I ran it up here with some home audio things that I got at Home Depot. Forget the name of this, it's like a channel. And then I drilled a hole and it came up and connected to the back of the radio. So super happy on how this whole thing came out. It's nice and clean, it's all zip tied, it's not going anywhere. And then over on this side we have the main drawer system. This, as you saw, was a full couch, and what I did is I reused some of the framework for this, and created this bottom drawer. This still slides out, so this is the platform for the extension for the bed. And then over here is the main drawer system that didn't exist. We have the 1.5-inch butcher block countertop, and then I cleaned up all the wiring and added Apple TV there. 28-inch drawers. Nice drawer down here for bags, bulky items, pans, whatever. And this one. All right, so the main drawer is pretty special. This is the first time I've ever done this. This is an insulated drawer. So it's almost like a home-built cooler. It is, you can see it has a lid, and it's pressure fit lid. It has this marine style recessed latch. This comes off. So you could technically use this as a regular drawer, but the great thing about it is it has 3.25 inch insulation in between. So it's 1/2 inch ply, 3/4 insulation, 1/4 inch ply, glued together, finished up, and then painted with white Raptor liner. Pretty cool. So let me give you a close up of that. That's it. So you're in the kitchen, you're over here, you want to grab a bottle of wine, you just lift up and then you can grab your bottle of wine. You can see how thick it is here. So it winds up being 1.5 inch thickness, and it should do pretty well. I mean, you're not going to put ice in here. Technically you could, but there would be no way to drain it out because I didn't put any drain in there. And I think the better bet would be to use those freezer packs that don't melt. So pretty cool, pretty excited. I used these 10-pound, I put 2 of these 10-pound drawer catches on there to hold it in place. And yeah, that's really it. So what we got, we have the butcher block countertop. It's done in food grade mineral oil. Then I put some tan or brown silicone to fill the gaps along the edges. Tried to match the factory handles. I couldn't exactly find them, but I got pretty close, and they look really good from outside. So that is it for in here. Let's take a walk upstairs and climb up the ladder so I can show you what I did up on the roof. I feel like I'm always climbing a ladder. All right, so this is the first thing I did. So that's the new upgraded, that shark fin. That's the new upgraded Wifi Ranger Wi-Fi boosting system. And I ran the cabling along the seam, the natural seam, and I used 2-inch RV sealant tape. So this tape is actually used to seal things like rivets and edging on RVs. So for cables, it's going to be perfect. It's watertight, it's not going to go anywhere. And then you can see it goes back to that solar entry gland. So I had to do some modifications to that because that's designed for solar cables, whereas this had Ethernet and coax cables going through. So I'll get to that in a second. So you can see here, there's a cable going to the cross, and right over there, that black thing at the end, that is the cell boost antenna. So that it is mounted to the mast of the actual TV antenna. So when the owner cranks up the TV antenna, it's going to put the cell boost antenna as high as possible, and then that sends signal down into the camper. The original cell booster antenna was right here. It was a little tiny thing like this big. I used the existing hole, and then I had to modify the gland. First off, this is a two-prong gland, entry gland for solar cables. That worked. I had to actually add a bigger piece here to get through the Ethernet cable, and then there was also a power cable. And then I drilled out a hole here to add the cell booster cable, so everything went into one spot. All 3 wires go in, they're all waterproof, and then I hit them with, I hit the whole thing with the self-leveling lap sealant, just for added. Normally you don't have to do this part because it'll squeeze and pinch, but I figured this is not going to move, and it just added insurance of sealing everything with the lap sealant. You can see a better angle of the actual cell booster right there at the end. And originally at the where that is located was the Wi-Fi extender antenna. So now the Wi-Fi antenna is up in the middle of the camper. Cell booster has a much bigger, that's going to be up about 4 feet in the air, and then everything terminates down through here and then goes right underneath this. That's going to wrap up the video, guys. I hope you like this build. If you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and post them below. Like I said, I'm gonna put a link for all the products I used in this, or at least most of them, down below, so that way you can head over to Amazon or Home Depot and find what it is or how I did stuff. Thanks for sticking around and watching. If you like this type of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell, whatever you got to do. I do these projects not because of YouTube. I've always done projects like this. I'm doing YouTube because of you guys and the interest in my last few videos. So you guys are inspiring me to make more videos and film the projects and how I build them. So I'm excited to do that. Hopefully I'm going to be able to start filming more as I'm actually doing it, as opposed to just the final walkthrough. I'm still trying to figure things out and how all this stuff works. And thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.